what does it mean to live the wrong way? Right? Like, I want to get out the wind. I wanted to stand there, but like, it's gonna be really windy if I do. So, what does it mean to live the wrong way? Like, I've had people tell me that I'm doing it wrong. That, by this age, you should have your finances right. By this age, you should be like this. My whole life, even like just recently, I was sitting here thinking that I was behind. Like, that's why I started working on my health, right? Like, I started working on my health and getting myself in shape, like, healing my skin, like, trying to basically figure out a way to reverse aging because I feel like I'm so behind in life. Just because I don't have the things that most people consider normal. Like, so I was like, well, I need to somehow reverse time. And since I can't reverse time, literally, what I can do is heal my body. So I started healing my body, and then it's like, I'm like, okay, now I can, like, I feel like I have more time. But it's funny because I'm not behind, and other people are not ahead. Just because they have the normal things younger, that doesn't mean that they're ahead. Because, like, literally, bro, like, every human being is different. So because every human being is different, it's like, and we all have a different intention, that means the right way or wrong way to live life is based off of your intention. Are you living your intention? Are you living your life? Or are you living someone else's life? Because this is the problem with society, is that, you know how, like, every human being is different. We know that. But yet, they're telling us all that we should live the same life. They're saying that this thing right here is normal, but this other thing is not normal. Like, it's not normal for you to not have these things done by the time you're 25, or, like, there's this thing. And it's like we're all different, but yet we're all supposed to do this same thing. So, like, that means that, of course, some people are going to feel like something's off or something's wrong because they're living a life that isn't really fit for them. But other people might, society or whatever, the normal thing might fit them better. So therefore it actually is the normal thing, and therefore it actually works for them. But, bro, I'm still dying from that fucking hit I took. But I just wanted to make this video because I was like, I don't know, I was just sitting here thinking about how, like, I've been said I'm doing it wrong, or like, but it's working for me, so I think that means I'm doing it right for me. Like, if somebody did what I do, they'd fuck up their life, like, swear to God. But that's because it's not their life. So it's like you gotta figure out your life, and then, like, just live it. I don't know, follow intuition, follow your soul. I want to make a separate video about that, about, like, how to follow your intuition. Because it's like people are not listening to themselves, so therefore they're not following their intuition. They're following what they think they're supposed to do or what they think is normal. So then if you're just doing what you think is normal, normal becomes what the average human is doing. What normal is what everyone does. But if we're all different, then that means we can't do what everyone else does. We can do some of the things that other people do, but, like, this is why it's so important to become self-aware, to become aware of yourself, get to know yourself, figure yourself out, because once you figure yourself out, it's like you then know if you're living the wrong way, if you're doing it wrong, or you're behind on something, or you're all these things that we think we're behind in life. We think, shit, some people think they're ahead in life just because they got rich while they were young or something. And it's like, you're ahead in society, but not in life necessarily. Because, like, life is complicated. So, I think it's more about figuring out what's right for you, doing what works for you. Like, I think I did make a video about how all the cliche advice is real. All the cliche advice is real. But people are just not listening to the cliche shit because it's said all the time. So it's like kind of annoying. But all of the cliche shit is true. And it's about following and doing what works for you. But if you don't know yourself, if you don't try shit, and the only thing you tried was society's shit, so therefore you just are doing, so you think that's life. But there's other shit. And what's funny, I guess it's all part of society, right? Whether you work for someone else's business or whether you create your own business, whether you make music or you don't, whether you make videos or you don't, it's all part of the modern world that we're in, and we have more than one opportunity to do something. Life is not just lived one way. Life can be lived many different ways, and it is being lived many different ways because there's like 8 billion human beings, and they're all living their own life, doing their own thing. But a lot of them feel like they're living life wrong because they don't have the same shit that they see on the internet. They see some guy on the internet has some mansion, and you feel like, oh man, why don't I have a mansion? And it's like, you'll see someone with a Lamborghini, you'll be like, oh, why don't I have a Lamborghini? I'm not doing right in life, man. I gotta work harder. And it's like, do you? Like, do you even really give a fuck about the Lamborghini? Like, is that something you've truly thought about since you were a kid? Like, is that an actual dream you've had? Because sometimes we get influenced by the people we see on the internet because they followed their dream, and it's like you start thinking their dream is your dream, and it might be. You know, like if you're someone that doesn't make music, but then you see someone that makes music, and it inspires you to try to make music, that might be your dream. That might be your thing. That could become your thing. But you'll never know if you don't try. And if you try to make it fit when it doesn't fit, it's still gonna feel off. Like, if you're gonna try to make music, but you truly don't really want to, you're just like, oh, this is the popular thing to do, right? Like, I almost busted my ass. But like, that's what people did with the entrepreneurship thing. Entrepreneurship got popular, and then so many people tried being an entrepreneur because it got popular, but it's not a lot of people's thing. So like, I don't know, it's great that people tried shit. You gotta try shit to figure out your thing, but don't just think life is one thing, right? Like, life is this giant thing that has like all these possibilities. So therefore there is no right or wrong way to live it. It's like what works for you, and you got to figure that out. And people think life is this thing, so they're like just in that thing, not even trying to figure out a different thing because they don't think a different thing exists. They don't think it's possible. They think they have to. they have to do this thing. I have to do this thing. I have to pay these bills. And yeah, you're always gonna have to pay bills, but it's up to you on how many, right? Like, people don't realize that you can make sacrifices or make changes or remove things from your life to give you time to put more things in your life, like to give you time to build a better life for yourself. Like, if you don't take the time to work on your mind, then you'll never be able to heal it because it takes time. But you can heal it. Everyone can. But everyone's mind needs something different, right? Everyone is healing from a different thing. We're all healing from different shit. So therefore, it's going to take different shit for us to heal. That's why it's like what works for me might not work for others. But how would they know if they didn't try, right? Like, if you don't try shit, nothing's going to change. So, like, life will be what people tell you life is if that's what you let life be. Like, if you're letting it be what people tell you it is, then that's what it is, because you're not telling it what to be. You're not trying to figure out what it is for you. You're not trying to figure out how to live for yourself, like, because it's your life. It's not your mom's life or your dad's life or society's life, or it's not my life, right? Like, it's your life. So the only wrong way to live is trying to force yourself to live my life, or trying to force yourself to live this other life, because it's wrong within your soul, within your intuition. Like, so many people go against their own intuition, and then they end up not feeling okay in their life, end up with depression or anxiety or all these things. And it's like, I figured out how to be okay in my life being broke, bro. Like, that's why it's like, it's not always about getting your money up or getting your money right or getting a house and a car, and it's not always about that. But you'll never know. But it might be about that for you. That might be what you need, but it might not be. But how would you know if you didn't try? And if that's the only thing you're trying but it's not working, then it might be something else that needs to be worked on. It might be something else. So, like, yeah, appreciate y'all.